Welcome back to Tao of Twang. I'm Dave, and today we're working on another Mixolydian lesson. We're going to use a B flat Mixolydian mode scale over a couple of chords. And while we're at it, the chords are B flat and A flat. I did it a little slower in the intro there, but that just a bar chord on B flat, 6th fret, and move that down 2, and then just back and forth like that. There's a lot that we could say about modes in general, and in this case, Mixolydian. But for today's lesson, let's boil it down to this. It's the same as a major scale. A do, re, mi scale would be starting on that B flat, but with the 7th lowered 1 degree. Here's the difference in sound. That's your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. My singing wasn't very in tune there, sorry. Now here's that flat 7. Okay, this is a really common, important scale and framework for a lot of rock and jam playing. So you really need to dedicate some time to this type of scale playing. Now, kind of left out a lot about the theory there, and there's probably great videos all over YouTube that really get into explaining what the modes are in a more theoretical sense and stuff. This is just something you can do right away. Do you have a song or a jam that goes back and forth between, a whole step difference between 2 major chords like that? This is probably going to work out great in those situations. And a bunch of other situations too, not limited to just this kind of progression. But it's something that you can throw down on your looping device, or find a lot of backing tracks and stuff to play along with. And look for some that add some more chords and stuff to it, but that are labeled Mixolydian to practice this with. I'm going to make you a little loop out of the same stuff I was playing over in the demonstration. Okay, so that'll be at the end of this lesson. So let's get right to the 2 patterns. The first one is located here. Now on that diagram, it's the red dots are all B flat. And that's important. Those are the roots. So right then I started on the root, the B flat. In the diagram, it shows a couple notes, 1 note lower than that. And then it goes up a couple black dots there above the red one. That's just because when you're playing in a position, you may as well, use the notes that you can reach when your hand's already there. Okay. But lean on your roots a lot when you're first becoming familiar with a scale, and not just the visual part of it, but the sound of it, the feeling of that flatted note there. By flatted, I mean that if it was a regular major, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. The difference in this scale, Mixolydian, is it's like that, but the 7th tone is down 1 degree. Okay. Again, we won't get too deep into the analysis of that, but that's one way that you can identify this. I hit a wrong note there, obviously. So your ear knows, oh, no, that note wasn't right. Trust yourself too when you hit a wrong note. You might want to go back and say, you know, I don't even really have to go back and look at the diagram. I just know that sound. I've been playing the scale. That didn't fit. So get that under your fingers. Really work on just kind of, up and down and back and forth and stuff on that. Then the other one, now when we say position, two different positions of the same scale, it's the same notes, same sequence of notes, just played in a different part of on the neck. Sorry, I had to think for a second. Okay. And then you can kind of reference that, check that. Well, wait, let me play that. I already spent 5 minutes really memorizing this one. So let me see if that's really adds up. That's where your ear starts to get trained, because that's how you, too much to keep track of all this stuff just as visual information, right? You see all those crazy neck diagrams and stuff, and people are asking questions about that, and those diagrams are great. I don't mean that, but it's overwhelming, right? So somewhere in this process early on, really buy into this trusting your ear. Hey, here's how I'm going to check it and see if what I'm doing really works. Okay, cool. So, one kind of practical question is, well, why? Why do we need different positions to play the same notes? Well, we just play the same notes, like on a piano. Each one just makes one sound. Well, it's both a blessing and sometimes a complication that on guitar there's very often more than one place to play the same note. And then, of course, we can go up above the octave that we're in or below and so forth. So you also, it just kind of sparks new ideas when you're soloing. If I'm up here, I'm likely to play something different than if I were right here. It's just gonna prompt you physically to do different stuff. Right? You want to be diverse and have different approaches physically, right? Not just theoretically. Okay, so here's what let's that was kind of a lot of verbiage there. Basically, we got our two patterns. And now let's just see what it sounds like if we just kind of walk those scales up and down a little bit. I'll start with the first pattern over our backing track. I should walk, not ride. Okay, now here's that second one, the one down here. This is fun, right? This is something that really starts paying off quickly. Now, another thing that's cool here, it doesn't really matter where you start playing these patterns in this progression. In other words, it's not like, oh, I got to play this over the B flat and then do something else over the A flat. You can do that. You could mix in triads and stuff like some of our last couple of lessons. And in that case, you do want to be more accurate. Oh, this goes with the B flat. and this goes with the A flat. Okay, but when you're just using that scale, really let yourself go. I'm not using any kind of real, you know, intention here when I'm doing this demonstration right now. I'm just kind of playing the scale and making on the spot musical choices. Okay. Use whatever fingering you want. Move around, you know. You know, kind of weird, but just, you know, don't get hung up on always repeating the same fingering, unless you're trying to play super fast or something. One other thing I might mention here real quick is when you want to put a few little bends in there. Here's a little trick of the trade. Anywhere that you have a 1 fret distance in the scale, so between those two, a couple things you can do to embellish that right away. One is, okay, so you just do a little hammer pull off. You mix those in as you go, and that really stylizes it in a simple way, but in a nice way. And also, you can bend a little bit in that same situation. And you can do more of a full bend too, but those little ones are nice because they don't take that much. You can almost just kind of do any amount of little bending on that, and it sounds cool. Here's the. Okay, so that's probably a good place to stop as far as new information. So here's an idea of a routine to really, you know, work this into your playing. Get those two positions, patterns of that B flat Mixolydian scale under your fingers. Okay, and right. Then, you know, do a little back and forth. On each one. Okay. Then I'm going to, about a few minutes worth of practice loop coming up here, and just throw that thing on and really let yourself go, because by that time you got a little bit of muscle memory started already, and you can start to really have some fun. And when you start putting those two positions together, well, you're covering some real estate now, right? This isn't just like, oh, I just got this one place to put my hand. Okay, so have fun with that. let me know how you're doing, okay? Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, if you think that the Twang will help you on your guitar journey. Thank you.